Hi guys, today we are going to do a fan art piece of SweetPaprica. This was recently a trend on Instagram and I thought, geez, it might be a fun exercise to practice some new skin illustration techniques and work on my brushes. So we're going to draw SweetPaprica in my style. So I've opted for a far more realistic and proportional look. She's less cartoony and more villainous. Anyway, if you like what you see, remember to like, share, and subscribe. I started off by loosely sketching out the pose I wanted. It's not 100% exactly the same, but it's pretty close, and considering the proportions are quite different, her position is going to be a little bit different too. I then roughed out the line art and now I'm busy putting in a little more detail just to kind of solidify the character of what is going and why. So now we can see that I have made certain stylistic choices with regards to the way she looks in comparison with the original artwork by Mirka Andolfo. I hope I'm saying that right. He's quite a successful artist on Instagram. He goes by Mercand89. I will put the link in the description below. I think he's super cool. And I saw he got some really amazing responses, and I thought I would give it my best shot to show the people what I can do. You guys being the people, of course. So there's the little doggy. The other character, I'm not so clued up on the background story of SweetPaprica, but I thought the concept was visually quite interesting and funny. Perhaps I should buy one of the comics in the future. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm doing the final line art for the body in a darker color than the body, but not pure black. I'm doing the line art for the hair in black because I want the black base, or the hair to have a black base. And I will be doing the horns in a sort of dark rusty brown as well. Just so that I'm not working with pure blacks everywhere. I think that's kind of important too. Just a note, for the skin and the line art, I am using the Ergo Josh brush kit that he recently sold, and yeah, absolutely loving it. The skin quality and texture that you can achieve using them is really good. At this stage, I'm starting to create the lowlights of the illustration. I used the Ross Draws technique to find the color by going halfway to black, but I'm also moving and saturating it to the left. So it's a kind of a deeper, brighter version. And another thing that is also very important is that if you really want to get nice lines and definitions with regards to shading and such, use your selection tool. It doesn't show it here in the process specifically because I haven't done a screen capture video, but if you use your selection tool, you can get a lot more control with regards to the way you're applying your shading, and you get a lot more life into the character. Now what I'm doing here is I'm selecting out the highlights, and I'm just manipulating them. So the highlights and lowlights have been picked out, and now I'm sort of manipulating them and pushing them out. So I've created, in a sense, a 3-point lighting effect simply by just bringing up either side in a different color. One side is cool, warm and pink, the other side is cool and blue. And it's already created a really nice effect. So remember guys, if you like what you see and you find it interesting and helpful, please do like, share and subscribe. So at this point, I am trying to figure out what to do with the hair. And I went back to the color selection technique and I created this 5-tone color palette, of which the second darkest color is the main color that you see here. So the first I'll go over with a low light. I'm just doing a practice on the head, above the hair on the head, and I'll work with the braid later. And then I've been using some hair brushes that I got recently as well, just to create that nicely sort of polished hair finish, like clean and lustrous looking hair. And I think it's working really nicely. The color selection works quite well. There's no pure whites in it, which is also perfect. And it pops actually quite nicely. So I figured let's continue, and I've gone on once again using my selection tool so that I've got real control over where I'm drawing and what I'm drawing. Aside from Alpha Lock, which is very useful in Procreate, where you just do Alpha Lock and you can't draw outside of the current color base. And then within that, you put your selection tool, then you've got real control over the simple little bits and pieces. And you can see clearly as the process moves on, how the braid basically just comes to life, and the volume just gets built up really nicely with those 4 additional colors. And once again, I worked on the diagonal of halfway to white and halfway to black. So every time when I created a new color, I would go halfway to white or halfway to black. And it does work. The colors absolutely function within that space. So I'm happy with that. Oh, and don't mind the pooch. She's an absolute delight. Anyway. As we carry on, you will see we're finishing off there. This is very sort of clean still, and I will be adding sort of those additional loose strands just to make the braid look a little bit more realistic. But like I've said, it's come out quite nicely in my opinion. At this stage, I'm giving the braid the same treatment as what I did her back with that pink kicker, that light, and then I've added those additional little strands just to make the braid look a little more sort of correct. And I feel like it's come out quite nicely. Look, at the end of the day, this is a practice exercise and it's not meant to be perfect. It's about developing my skills and ability and helping you guys do so in the same breath. So remember, like, share, subscribe. Now, once again, created the tones for the horns. Also, you can see I've used the same way to create that palette, and I think it's worked quite nicely. And I don't know, what do you call them? Horn scales or the ridges? So here I'm just creating and developing the ridges of the horns with a rougher textured brush, so it almost appears texturally different, hopefully. So now I'm getting to a point where I'm quite happy with the product so far, and I think it looks kind of cool. I will have to add a few things. I haven't finished the eyes, nor have I done the glasses, but I want to add an additional shadow layer. So I've gone with a sort of green color and played with it, but it just ended up looking like I'd darkened things up. So I figured let's delve back into the other colors and try and create something. So I eventually settled on something along the line of, varying the colors and almost a deep purple finish. In a way, there, I put the eyes. I didn't spend extra time drawing the eyes. I had a pair of eyes that was lying around, so I used them because they look cool and they fit quite nicely with a demonic look. And now the pink rug, that rug everybody wants to be. Anyway, and I think that also ties the whole picture together quite a lot with the pink tonal values in the character. And here you can see I kind of put in the background color, put in that purple finish, that overall low light across the whole character, and I have worked it back, pushed it away a little bit so that it looks more appropriate. And at this stage, I can honestly say I'm quite happy. So it's time for the little doggy. I've approached it in a slightly different method and just doing selection and fill on a couple of different layers. So it's relatively simple. I did him more as an afterthought, but he does kind of look cool. So anyway, thank you all for listening and watching and enjoying. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Together we can do it. See you soon.